And while we're talking about the election stuff, I want to talk about Sanders. So Sanders dominated. Sanders dominated. I got the opportunity to watch that debate again as I was cutting the videos. And, the first time I watched the debate, I was like, wow. I was like, Elizabeth Warren is kicking ass in this debate. And there were times where I was like, God, I wish Sanders would have said this or that. But then when I got the opportunity to go back, I was like, well, he did say that. Or he did do this. And, I was astounded by it. I think the thing is, Warren had the best put down of the night. I have no idea why somebody would get into a Democratic race in order to tell the world what they can't do. Let alone that, put their own money in it. Delaney was spending $20 million of his own money to tell people Medicare for all is not possible. And the beauty of it is, Warren's wealth tax would tax Delaney. He's fighting for his own money. He's in the race fighting for his own money. Forgetting the fact that he has so much money they can throw $20 million of it away in the toilet bowl. Think of being that rich. Think of being that rich. My I do treatments. And I have Medicare now, but I didn't have it before. But I haven't gone without insurance for like a decade. I've had insurance either from my job or when I switched jobs, essentially took on my wife's insurance to just pay her, almost like a family plan. My insurance company doesn't want to pay the bill because it says I should have Medicare. Now, this is a pain in my ass because the insurance companies kind of make this argument. Well, look, you should have Medicare. Well, it doesn't matter what I should have had. At the end of the day, I had insurance. You should pay the bill because your job is an insurance company. So you should, do your job. My point is this. Most people don't have $500 in the bank in case there's a major expense. Delaney has so much money. He is so rich that he can throw $20 million in the toilet. He could have literally just burned that money on the lawn to tell people that we can't cover everybody in healthcare, or at the very least, Medicare for all is impossible. He's literally in the race, polling at like 1%. That's astonishing. Nobody called Delaney to be in the race. There was no groundswell of support for Delaney to be in the race. Nobody even knew who he was. And it's like there's 10 other Delaneys that are already in the race. And yet, there he is, burning through his own money with a staff that is literally leaking stuff to the press to try to get him to drop out of the race. He has that much money. He has that much money. And I'm saying he is not even the richest of them. There's a pamphlet that shows how much wealth Jeff Bezos has. Do you realize Jeff Bezos is so rich, he can get rid of poverty across the globe? Just Bezos, by himself. When I make this argument of eat the rich, I make this argument because it is obscene, it is grossly immoral for a system to put that much money, that much wealth into the hands of a single person when that wealth can be used to raise the level of standard of humanity as a whole. Sanders dominated. Look at this. This is the New York Times. And by the way, this is not an ad for Sanders. This is just the New York Times. What you're seeing is where the support for the candidates are coming from. Now, down here is O'Rourke. This is O'Rourke. Up here's Bullock. That makes sense. He's from there. Here's Klobuchar. Here's Buttigieg. Here's Biden. Just a little place. All of this is Sanders. All of this is Sanders. After the debate, this is where Sanders' donations came from. The world. The entirety of the United States. Where is Sanders' support? The entirety of the United States. When you look at the polling, Sanders' support is coming from the youth, that's one point, but also minorities, workers, people from Amazon and Walmart and these other companies. And why? Because he's advocated erase college debt. We went so far as to bail out Wall Street. We could do the same thing for our generation. It is obscene that we're willing to put money. What do you believe in? And where do you put your money? I mean, I guess I make this argument that this notion that we can't support ourselves and the internal dynamics of this country and grow and unleash the opportunities within the context of the country. However, we're perfectly willing to spend $1 trillion a year on the military when there is no adversary. We're hunting people down in caves. And Trump is aggravating all sorts of tensions across the globe, including with Russia, even though the Democratic Party is breathlessly telling us that they're working in coordination with one another. The world is getting to be an extraordinarily dangerous place. And the Democratic Party is pretending as if these two are working together, when in all honesty, their alarm level should be max with Trump pulling out of the various treaties dealing with nuclear proliferation. But just to be clear, this is Sanders' support. Sanders received, if I am not mistaken, 746,000 donations. In fact, it was more than that. I mean, over 2 days, I think it was like a million or something. Like it was. But let me say it this way: they received $2 million in 2 days, just overnight from the debate to the next day. $2 million, 100,000 in new donations. That's astonishing. They were breaking records in regards to the number of donations that they were receiving. Small dollar donations, by the way. Look at this. Nobody else comes close. He's so dominant, and it's so all over the United States in regards to support. They had to create another one, just so you can see people where Sanders is off. Meaning, they literally had to take Sanders off the map so you could see how other candidates are doing. Because when Sanders was on the map, you couldn't see how the other candidates were doing. That's dominance. That's dominance. That's from, again, a dominant performance in the debate. Now, the wild part about this, let's see. So right here, and these are what the people are saying. 4 debates and nearly 10 hours later, there's not much more clarity about the Democratic race. Biden is a fragile frontrunner with no obvious mod advantage. Warren and Bernie have yet to prove they can capture mods or non-white Democrats. Well, again, that's a lie, because the polling, you can look up Emerson, says otherwise. Emerson shows that Sanders support is mainly minorities. And the wild part about that is Hispanics. I have no idea why, but Hispanics. This is a lie that they've been pushing since the last election. And this lie, you only have to look at the polls to see that it is, in fact, a lie. So let's keep going with this. I want to show something else. Where is it? All right. So right here. Poll. Biden holds 2-1 lead over Sanders after second Democratic debate. Support. What? Media is pushing him, man. You're pushing him. They're trying to prop him up. Because look, all things being equal, Biden didn't score any major successes in those debates. I mean, he was barely there. It looked like he was kind of out of it, if I'm being honest. Sanders dominates. Gotta love it. By the way,